Nothing is wrong. Step out of the fear. I have had so much confirmation, especially over this last week, that this is a huge shifting point. Everything is, it couldn't play out any other way. What's happening in our world couldn't play out any other way. This is how it has to play out. All of us chose, our souls chose to be here at this time. We also chose our exit point within a certain range. We don't have as much control over the exit point in the 3D as we've been conditioned and made to believe that we do. We can do things to live a happier, healthier life while we're here. There's certain choices we can make and things like that. But as far as the actual exit point, we don't have as much control over it as we think. So I felt like I was supposed to say that. And there's been tons of confirmation. One of the things that started coming through for me, especially after my awakening in 2023, was and it didn't, there's lots of things that came through during that time after my Kundalini awakening when I was in a very elevated, and I'm way more grounded now. I was in a very, very elevated, like vibrational state where it was almost impossible to be here. It was crazy. But during that time, a lot of stuff came through. And one of those things was about the planes. And it made no sense at that time. But like like the message was like when things start to happen and things start happening with the planes and the air traffic control and things like that start happening at a more rapid pace, which I've been seeing, just weird things with planes. Um, it's comfort, and this has been happening a lot this year, but I've seen more confirmation and then more confirmation in other ways. Like we are on the verge of, and in timing, in the 3D is really hard to tell. It depends on, there's so many different factors, but we are on the verge of a major tipping point or event. And it's all good. Remember that everything that's being exposed right now, all the shadows have to come to the light. Once they come to the light, they can transmute and transform. Um, they have to transmute and transform once the things come to the light. So that's what's happening. It's not that new things are happening, it's that we are more aware of we're just aware of the things that have been going on. And the more that we can do to digest and increase our own emotional bandwidth to digest a lot of what's happening and get our information from trusted sources, I feel also the best thing for that, everything goes back to our own frequency and our own healing. Because the more that we take responsibility for that and for our energy and for our healing, for our all of that, we tune into and stepping out of the fear and the fear-based perspective and stepping into choosing a higher perspective. From the higher perspective, things are just dark and light, not good and bad. Good and bad is like a human 3D perspective thing that works to keep this thing running. But when I can step out and we can step out and see things from a bit of the higher perspective, we can step out of the fear, and that helps us tune into our intuition, be present in this moment, tune into your intuition. And the more we do that, the more that we can, even online, you can look in someone's eyes. The more that you tune into your truth and your intuition, you can look and see it in someone. You can see if, like, you don't have to be in fear of, oh, is this person going to screw me over? Is X, Y, and Z going to happen? You can see it in someone. You can hear it in their voice. You can hear the intention. You can see the intention. Tune into that aspect of it. That's so important because this is a time of great deception. So the more that we can tune into that, and I mean that, like, I choose to get the information that I get from within, and also from some of those people that I trust, that I am connected with and that I follow. I don't at this point especially, I don't really trust anything that comes through traditional news outlets. When I talk to people that are watching it, I'm like, they're not talking about this, they're not talking about this, they're not talking, but they've got us so distracted about trans people or whatever, it's just like insane. Um, Shifting our focus, distraction. Know that really ever since 2020, okay, um, the things and dark things that and actions that are taken to with the intent of controlling the population or harming people or like playing into that false power and control, that corrupt, playing into the corruption and all of it, anything that they do, okay, like look at what COVID, how it set off this awakening process. That is, they are self-destructing. We don't have to do anything. They are self-destructing. We can step into our elevated frequency and truth, and through that, stepping into that and stepping out of the fear, the ideas can flow, creative ideas can flow, downloads can flow through. We become a clear channel for those things to create a new world. But we don't have to do so much to tear down anything. They are self-destructing. They're shooting themselves in the foot over and over.